gonna pull this out, just twirl it like that. Yeah. Gemini, May 21st to June 21st. Air element, curious, quick-witted, affectionate. So it shows right here on the planner. So yeah, I'm gonna do Gemini first. Think about doing two things. Dice and the Futhark runes. I have these ones. I also have like traditional Futhark runes for Gemini, Numerology, and Zodiac. Right? So right now, okay. So the main thing that popped out was Cancer zodiac sign. That's the main one. Cancer here. And then 4. And then this one, which is money. Okay, so if you're a Cancer sign, because even though this is a reading for Gemini, some of you who are watching this, you're most likely a Cancer sign. Whether that's your rising sign or just your regular zodiac sign. Okay, so the main thing for this one, wealth. That's how I read this room. Wealth. So there'll be balance and wealth. You'll get money soon, basically. Money, future wealth. Other numerology, we got 6, 3. Right. So with the numerology part, some of you, main thing is entrepreneurship. So doing your own business, creating a business. Some of you, what you want to do, and that's your calling, journey. But that is pointing downwards now, and it's on the far right. It's on the far right. I mean, it's not this instant usually. So I'm gonna first copy the sigils and the runes in here. Yeah, we got the sun here as a planet sign. And we got the number 1 pointing towards the green. It's downwards. It's like reversed. Cause I read reversals on the dice here. So right now you have no hope for connections. So it's a feeling. No hope for personal connections. That's what you're feeling and thinking right now. That's not for all of you though. It's for a good majority of you though. So no hope for personal connections. It doesn't necessarily have to mean relationships, romance. It could mean like friends. So you're not feeling positive about that. The 1 represents new beginnings. Okay, there's another thing. You're feeling defensive on opening up to new people. Therefore, so creating a blockage from connecting to new people. You know, I'm writing all this down on the bottom. That's the reason why that dice is on reverse. And I can actually show it to you. It's pointing to 3. So this is a clarifier. So, because the 1 represents a new beginning, and it can also represent loneliness, lone wolf, you know, doing things yourself, by yourself. But since it's reversed though, there's like a blockage to a new beginning when it comes to friendships. Now the rune is called Ehwaz. When it's pointing towards the number 3, it just means that you're on the fence. You're blocking your own self from meeting new people in a spiritual sense, but also in a unfortunately energetic sense. In a sense, you being defensive, even though it's not your intention to show that, but people can sense it. Mostly they can sense it subconsciously. So that's the reason why, if you're wondering why is this person not talking to me, why are people not wanting to socialize with me when you go out, it's because you're putting up a spiritual defensive wall or a mental wall, and that's the reason why you're not having any new experiences with new people. In order to do that, you have to, of course, in order to lift out the defenses, you have to open up yourself more mentally, emotionally, the heart, and spiritually. and possibly physically as well. And when I mean physically, that means you have to, you know, practice. Look at yourself in the mirror and think what you normally would think. And if your face comes out in a certain way where it looks like, oh, I kind of have this resting, mean face, so then you have to force yourself to think in another way, which would be in a positive light. Something that would, like a memory, right? Something that would make you smile or happy. Think of a happy memory, and then your face will be different. It will show like you're inviting people in. That's how you'll be able to make new experiences with new people. Because whenever people are stressed out, or they're angry, or they're depressed, or anxious, or worried, it will show on their face, whether they realize it or not. And that would usually block you from, you know, inviting people in. You know, a stranger will be like, I don't really want to talk to this person. They look like they're angry. So that's the reason why. And you don't have to follow that advice, but it's from the dice. There's 2 more dices to read. Let's start with this one that's closer to the first one that I was reading. You have Uranus and upward, so that's good. The rune name is Manas. Whenever I see numerology number 2 associated with Manas, and Manas almost looks like a house, or it looks like 2 flags together. And number 2 with Manas, to me, that's like it represents a home, or soulmates, or twin flame. It's basically soulmate. You're coming up with a new idea, which is associated with more entrepreneurship. So you're coming up with a new idea that's gonna make you money. It's right next to the first reading that was the rune with money and Cancer and number 4. You're going to end up meeting your soulmate, and most likely that soulmate is a twin flame. Even though that sounds annoying, this person's like a perfect match for you, a match made from heaven. You're like 2 halves of the same coin. You know, you might have some opposite qualities, but you also have some similar qualities. And you're gonna meet this person as long as you come up with that new idea, but you stick through it and you finish and accomplish that new idea. Because that new idea is gonna make you money. So it's most likely gonna be a business prospect that you're gonna come up with that's gonna make you money, or a creative endeavor. So that's why I was saying earlier about entrepreneurship, because that's a very highlighted word. It's something that you need to know and you need to do. I might clarify though to see if it's for everyone who's watching this, but it does feel like it's for almost everyone. It's like you're on the verge of coming up with a new idea that will make you more money, or you're on the verge of making money. Some type of breakthrough. It has to do with your emotions, artistic endeavors, something artistic, music, art, acting, like drama. The 6 always represents money for me every time I read this. And then we have Jeddah to confirm that, the rune. And it's pointing towards the main dice that I was reading from the beginning. The main dice is Cancer, 4. And then we have the rune that represents money. There's 2 things though on the money portion. You're wondering, okay, what is going to make me money? What is that? The main thing is something that your family has been doing, some type of career that your family has been doing that you're gonna follow through with it, and you're gonna make money from that. So family, career, something that they have done, or something with the city that's gonna make you money. Like, you know those people who work for the city, and they, not necessarily a cop, but they enforce violations, like tickets, but they're not cops. They work for the city, and if someone has done some type of violation that's against the city code, then that person would give them like a ticket or a notice saying, oh, you violated this code. Kind of like an inspector. Yeah, like an inspector. There's another word for it. Judge, too, lawyer, police officer. Like government authority. It's not political. Nothing had to do with like the Senate or or president. It's nothing has to do with that. It's something in government where it's an authority figure that could get people in trouble if you do something bad or do something that's against any laws or against any penal codes or etc. For part of you, it has to do with, you know, government authority figure, like a city inspector, judge, lawyer, police. And then for part of you, it's like something that your family has been doing. For example, if you had a lot of family members who work in the medical field, then you're probably going to follow through with that. Because if you do follow through with it, you'll make a lot of money from that. And you'll most likely meet your soulmate or twin flame if you go through that route. Same as the other one I was saying before, you know, city inspector, etc. You'll meet your soulmate or twin flame through that route. But for a good majority of you who's watching this, you're going to do something with business, like entrepreneurship. You're gonna come with a new idea, whether that's like writing something, publishing it, or creating some type of art, doing some type of acting, monologuing, posting it, making money from that, maybe being like an extra and then working your way from there. Yeah, definitely like something like maybe in Hollywood, being like an extra and then working your way up to be like the main cast. That you'll definitely meet your soulmate there. But that's only for some of you, not for all of you. It's like pretty extensive actually, just from reading the dice. Whenever you have water signs from the zodiac, water signs always have to do with like emotions. Fire has to do with taking action, authority, making money. The Emperor, so males. On the off chance it can be a female, but only when she's, I wouldn't say masculine, but she's more tough, more independent, more strict. That's how like those two are. So that's for Gemini. So I can do the tarot cards so that way we can see if there's anything extra. Because we got like the general gist of it. You know, we got career, we got romance, and then we have mentality, emotions. But yeah, let me see. Alright, for Gemini. Anything else that Gemini needs to know? Okay, so the first card that came out was Ten of Wands upright. Of course, this means that you have to work hard in order to achieve your goals. In order to achieve what you want, especially what I was saying with the soulmate, you know, and not to block people, because then it's going to block you from meeting new people. In order to do stuff like that, you got to work hard for it, unfortunately, because that's the way it is. Yeah, we got 10, Numerology 1, so new beginning, you have to work hard for it. You'll get a new beginning, but you have to work hard for it. Whether that's one thing that you want or more than one thing.
You're not having a certain romantic experience.
I don't see much romance. It's like you're quote unquote on your lonesome type of thing. And then we have upright, the Eight of Swords. Right away I see that you're not seeing the positive aspects of your life, which is not good, because when you don't see the positive aspects of your life, you start being ungrateful. When you start being ungrateful, you start becoming sad, depressed, and it just gives you bad luck basically, and it's stopping you from moving forward. So you're creating blockages by not seeing the positive aspects of your life, not seeing the good things in your life. Even though there's bad things, there's still a lot of good things in your life. So the advice from this card is saying that you have to see the good in your life in order to have more energy to keep moving forward and to get good luck and to remove blockages literally from your life, whether that's physically, you know, you have some health issues, or spiritually and mentally, of course, as well. Because I see that you're trying to do something, you're not working as hard, but you're working hard for something that you want to achieve. But you keep thinking and looking towards the negative aspect, you know, negative memories, and that's stopping you from trying extra harder, because that little push, that 30-40% of trying is going to give you something. It's going to give you a good feeling because you're achieving a little bit more than you're already doing, but you're actually going to reach and grab that goal, and it's going to be faster for you. You have to just think positively. Remember good memories, happy memories, and think and remember, okay, what is the good aspects of my life? Maybe.
Okay, so I wrote down this mental health exercise, and it's a few exercises. One is all about when you're feeling overwhelmed. So, first is realize the situation, write down your thinking, emotions, and physical actions. Second, let go of control. Do not judge what you wrote earlier. Be honest with yourself. Third, research your situation. Ask questions about yourself, about your thinking and emotions. Fourth, self care. Do not be hard on yourself, since that can overwhelm you and increase anxiety. Now, the other exercise is stop pleasing others. This is caused by being overwhelmed. You cannot satisfy everyone, even when you have done enough. Many people can be greedy and self absorbed, and others can be even worse off personality wise. It is best to focus on yourself and not be burnt out or burdened by other people's needs and troubles. Write a letter or write on a small piece of card, and as if you are the receiver of that letter. Write down the necessity of going into your own space and being quite fine with not satisfying others, especially for their approval. And then the other exercise is meditation with yoga. So I recommend doing some stretches first so you won't pull any muscles, and then do some simple yoga exercises, for about maybe 4 to 5 minutes if you're not comfortable with yoga. And then start doing some meditation. Make sure you're in a quiet place where there's no distractions. If there are distractions, just make sure you're in a room by yourself. You have your own little space at least. And focus within yourself. Breathe in and out. Ignore all the sounds around you. Focus on your breathing. Inhale, exhale. And then just keep doing that and be submerged into your own subconscious, basically. So consciousness and then subconscious. Because if you're into your own consciousness, the overthinking can be inputted into your consciousness, and you're just thinking while you're trying to do a task. So you want to go into your subconsciousness while you're doing some meditation. And it's good to go within. Just don't get stressed out. Let it go. And just be calm, peaceful, relaxed, and you'll go from there. There's a lot more books on meditation, yoga, and how to do better exercises and stretches. But I just wanted to write this down for you guys so that way you guys can have a good, simple piece of comprehension when it comes to mental health exercises. So I hope this was informative and good for you guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.
The advice is just to remember and always think of the good things that you have in your life, because constantly thinking about bad memories, constantly thinking about the bad things that's going on, the negative things like, oh, I'm not rich. Well, okay, well, look, what else do you have though? You know, you have to be grateful and think of that, because if you don't, it's just gonna bring you down. You don't want to have yourself be depressed and get blockages. So, one more card and see. One more advice card for Gemini. Empress in reverse. You're not feeling powerful. It's in reverse though. So you're not feeling powerful right now. You're not feeling good about yourself, and that's what's creating blockages from having new ideas. You know, like with the entrepreneurship business. It's also make you procrastinate too. Maybe pray to Venus. Do some spell work with Venus. Take a bath with roses, flowers, or create something with roses. That'll help uplift your self-esteem, basically. You gotta, because you have low self-esteem, that's what it looks like. When you feel like garbage about yourself, it also causes not just depression, but anxiety, so like high levels of stress. And it also causes you to not focus on a goal, because some people have more than one thing that they want to do in life, but they have to choose one for meanwhile, so that way they can complete that and then go on to the next. But since you're not feeling confident in yourself, it's causing delays, because you're like, okay, well, I have like 3 different things I want to do, but I'm not sure which one to focus on 100%. So you go back and forth, and it's just making things slower, and basically it's causing your life to be on hold, and it's stopping progression, and it's stopping you from being happy. The advice is just to do some spell work with roses, with Venus, pray to Venus. If you're not into that, maybe pray to God, or if you're not religious at all, you don't pray or anything like that. This is to go outside, because we have the Empress and she's outside. You got it in reverse, so if you're not religious at all, go outside, maybe do some exercises outside, maybe running, yoga, something, but stay outside for at least 10-20 minutes a day when the sun's out and bright, because that's gonna help lift up your self-esteem. So yeah, that's the advice with the Empress card. And yeah, that's it. This is a long video. It's a lot of information, so I hope you got what you needed, Gemini. And maybe Cancer, because there's Cancer zodiac in this reading as well. And Pisces. So I hope you guys have a good day, and comment if you want, follow, subscribe if you want, and yeah, have you a good life. Ciao.